In the shadowed mists of Norse legend, two titanic monsters haunt the edges of fate. Fenrir, the wolf fated to swallow the sun, and Jormungandr, the serpent coiling endlessly around the world. These are not mere beasts, but living omens, avatars of chaos and doom. If destiny ever brings them face to face, who would emerge from the carnage? Would the jaws that can devour the sky close around the serpent's endless coils, or would the world's serpent suffocate the wolf in a crushing embrace? To answer that, we must journey deep into the heart of myth, to the end of all things. Ragnarok. First, picture the scale. Fenrir, the monstrous wolf, is no ordinary predator. Born from the union of the god Loki and the giantess Angrboda, Fenrir's very existence terrifies even the gods of Asgard. His fur is midnight, his eyes twin embers burning with hatred and defiance. He grows so vast and powerful that, as the myths say, his jaws stretch from earth to sky, and it is foretold that he will break free from his bonds at the world's end, devouring Odin himself. Across the sea, beneath the churning waves, coils Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent. Also a child of Loki and Angrboda, Jormungandr was cast into the ocean by Odin, where he grew until his body encircled the world, his tail gripped tight in his jaws. He is the endless Ouroboros, the symbol of eternity and apocalypse. When he releases his tail, the world shudders, for Ragnarok is at hand. Let us compare these monsters by their speed. Fenrir, the hunter, is all muscle and fury. In some tales, he runs so swiftly that forests tremble and mountains crack beneath his paws. His speed is not merely physical, but supernatural, the speed of inevitability itself, the relentless approach of fate that cannot be outrun. When Fenrir charges, even gods scatter, for his jaws snap shut with the force of doom. Jormungandr, by contrast, moves with the slow, inexorable patience of deep waters and ancient things. His coils can shift continents. His movements are tidal, reshaping coastlines and summoning storms. Yet in battle, the serpent can strike with blinding speed. When he faces Thor at Ragnarok, he lashes out with venom and fangs in a blur, matching the thunder god blow for blow. His speed is deceptive, hidden beneath the surface, unleashed in a flash of apocalyptic violence. What of destructive power? Fenrir's might is legendary. The gods, fearful of his strength, attempted to bind him with chains forged by dwarves, but he shattered them as if they were twigs. Only the magical ribbon Gleipnir, made from impossible things, such as the sound of a cat's footsteps and the breath of a fish, could hold him. But even this will not last. At Ragnarok, Fenrir bursts free, his rage shaking the heavens. He rends the world with claws and teeth, devouring all in his path. No fortress can withstand him. No shield can blunt his fury. When Fenrir hunts, the world itself is his prey. Jormungandr's destructive power is more subtle but no less terrifying. His venom is so potent that a single drop can blacken rivers and poison the sky. During Ragnarok, when he rises from the depths, the very oceans boil and the land is drowned beneath waves. Against Thor, even the mightiest of gods, Jormungandr holds his own, wrapping the thunder god in coils and spraying venom that sears flesh and bone. His power is that of the sea itself, patient, all-consuming, and ultimately inescapable. Now consider their impact on Ragnarok, the end of days in Norse myth. Both play crucial world-breaking roles. Fenrir is the doom of Odin, king of the gods. When the final battle comes, Fenrir tears free from his bonds and storms the battlefield. No god can withstand him. He snaps Tyr's arm, shatters armies, and finally, in a moment that echoes through myth and memory, devours Odin whole. Fenrir's rampage is the breaking of the old order, the triumph of chaos over cosmos. Jormungandr, for his part, is the nemesis of Thor. At Ragnarok, he unleashes his venom into the sky, turning the air black and choking the world. He and Thor meet in a cataclysmic duel, hammer against fang, thunder against poison. The battle shakes the roots of the world tree Yggdrasil. In the end, Thor slays the serpent, but staggers 9 steps before succumbing to Jormungandr's venom. Their deaths signal the unraveling of the world, the final dissolution before rebirth. But what if, in some alternate telling, Fenrir and Jörmungandr, siblings in chaos, turn on each other? Who, in this monstrous duel, would survive? Imagine the battlefield, the shattered plains of Vigrid, the sky a storm of blood and fire. Fenrir charges, his eyes blazing, jaws wide enough to swallow a mountain. Jormungandr's coils unspool from the sea, ring upon ring encircling the wolf, his fangs dripping venom that sizzles where it hits the ground. The wolf is faster, a blur of muscle and hate, leaping at the serpent's head. Jormungandr rears up, taller than the tallest tree, and strikes. Fenrir's teeth sink into scaly flesh, but the serpent's body wraps around him, squeezing with the pressure of tectonic plates. The wolf howls, thrashing, and the earth splits beneath them. Venom pours from Jormungandr's maw, burning fur and flesh, but Fenrir only grows more furious. He snaps at the coils, tearing off great chunks, refusing to yield. The ground quakes with their fury, the sky is blotted out by their bodies. If Fenrir can break the unbreakable bonds of the gods, can he break Jormungandr's grip? If Jormungandr's venom can kill a god, can it bring the wolf to his knees? The answer lies not just in strength, but in endurance and fate. Fenrir's resilience is legendary. Chains forged by gods and dwarves alike cannot contain him. His will is unbreakable, his rage inexhaustible. But Jormungandr's venom is death incarnate. Even Thor, the mightiest of gods, cannot survive it after slaying the serpent. Perhaps, in their clash, Fenrir would tear free from the serpent's coils, ripping and biting until Jormungandr's body is shorn and bleeding. Yet each wound spatters him with venom, each bite brings the taste of poison. Even as he shreds the serpent, Fenrir would feel the venom burning through his veins, slowing his limbs, clouding his mind. Jormungandr, meanwhile, would squeeze and bite, flooding the air with poison. But the wolf's jaws would close around his neck, crushing bone and scale alike. The serpent would thrash, wrapping tighter, but Fenrir's fury might be enough to snap the world serpent's spine. In the end, both might fall. Fenrir mortally poisoned, Jormungandr torn to pieces. This is the essence of Ragnarok. Not victory, but mutual destruction. The monsters are the harbingers of the end, and their battle is a cataclysm that leaves nothing unchanged. Yet, if one had to stand as the last monster, who would it be? The wolf, with his raw, unstoppable power, or the serpent, with his world-ending venom? The answer might lie in their symbolism. Fenrir is chaos unleashed, the primal force that refuses to be chained. He is the breaking of bonds, the shattering of order. Jormungandr is the cycle, the eternal return, the poison that dissolves all things back into the sea. In a sense, Fenrir represents the moment of destruction, the snap, the break. Jormungandr is the aftermath, the dissolution, the return to nothingness. Perhaps Fenrir would triumph in the moment, tearing Jormungandr apart with tooth and claw. But even in victory, he would be lost to the venom, doomed to perish as the world collapses around him. Jormungandr's legacy is death itself, a poison that cannot be outrun, a darkness that seeps into every wound. Step back and consider their impact on the cosmos. Fenrir's victory means the end of the gods, the destruction of the old world. Jormungandr's triumph means the world returns to the ocean, swallowed by the serpent's coils and venom. Both are necessary for the world to be reborn, for the cycle to continue. In the poetic language of myth, the battle of Fenrir and Jormungandr is not just a contest of strength, speed, or power. It is the collision of two cosmic forces, the unstoppable wolf that breaks all chains, and the endless serpent that brings death and rebirth. Their struggle is the Ragnarok within each of us, the battle between chaos and dissolution, rage and inevitability. So, who would survive? In truth, neither. Their battle is the end of all things, the necessary destruction before the world can begin anew. Fenrir's jaws snap shut, Jormungandr's venom flows, and the old world dies in fire and flood. But from the ruins, a new world rises, green, pure, and untouched by the monster's rage. In the end, perhaps that is the lesson of their battle. Not that one monster is stronger, faster, or more deadly than the other, but that the clash itself is what brings about the world's renewal. Without Fenrir's fury, the old order would never break. Without Jormungandr's venom, the world would never be cleansed. It is in their destruction that hope is born. Thus, the legend of Fenrir and Jörmungandr is not just a tale of monstrous violence, but a meditation on the nature of endings and beginnings, on the necessity of chaos and dissolution for rebirth. These are not just beasts, they are the very engines of myth, the forces that drive the cycle of the cosmos. As the storm clouds gather and the world shudders at their coming, remember this: sometimes, the greatest battles are not about victory or defeat, but about transformation. In the jaws of the wolf and the coils of the serpent, the world is remade. And so, when you imagine Fenrir and Jormungandr facing each other on the shattered plains at the end of time, do not ask who will survive. Instead, ask what will be born from their ruin. For in the end, their struggle is the story of us all, caught between chaos and dissolution, destruction and renewal, always moving toward the dawn of a new world.